Mike Radich here, and I'm now joined on the phone by former King of the Cage lightweight champion Dom O'Grady. Dom, how are you?
I'm alright.
Dom, one question I've been dying to ask you is, how in the world did you get your nickname?
You know what? I actually, Shinaki, the ring announcer, he passed away over the summer. Actually, when I was still fighting amateur, it was like my second pro fight, he gave me that name. What happened was, you know, with Michigan being the way it is, even when I was an amateur, I didn't fight here. So I was always on the road, and usually, you know, I don't have like a great physique or anything, so I look like the guy who's actually going to kick. So it matched me up with someone, usually some local guy, because that's who you bring guys into, you know, in the fight, just local guys. And so I tended to get booed and yelled at, and you know, whatnot. So because of that, we had a fight, and my buddy made a sign. It's a big sign that said, "I hate Dom O'Grady, boo this man." so he would walk out in front of me as we walked through the crowd. The first time Shinaki called me, that was the XFO that Tap Out was at, and so there was a huge crowd, and you couldn't see from where they taped it, or you couldn't see the sign. So as we went, there's like this rolling boo from start to the back of the room all the way to the cage. And then Shinaki announced me as that. I actually didn't hear him announce me as that. I didn't know until I went back and watched the video, and then I heard it.
Oh, I'm curious. I always wondered why that was your nickname. So
yeah, I just welcome being disliked. I don't know. I enjoy it.
Dom, you got a fight coming up against Bill Ulbrich at King of the Cage Total Destruction. How's training been going for the fight?
Training's been going good. I've been feeling real good. You know, standard bumps and bruises, but my recovery's been great. So I mean, I feel strong. You know, fighting at my old weight, I get to, you know, carry a little more weight to me. I get to, you know, lift a little more, eat a little more. So, you know, feeling pretty good.
You've been fighting a lot at 155. Why the jump back to 170?
You know, when I was fighting at 155, it started off strong, and I don't know, it seemed like I just didn't have the energy to finish. You know, I tend, you know, fights tend to go longer, and I mean, I felt good and all, but we were thinking, you know, me and, you know, my management and all that, we kind of, you know, thought about it, and we're like, you know, maybe if we go back up to 70, you know, put a little more power on, maybe I'll be a little more, stronger. You know, I mean, really, it was maybe, we were thinking maybe the cut was what was kind of taking some of the life out of me.
Did it have anything to do with getting a title shot, or were you getting a title shot, whether it be 155, 170? Was that pretty much the plan?
The title shot helped, or, you know, with having Mohan vacate, and then, you know, looking at the pool of fighters, it just seemed that, at least for right now, I'd be a little more competitive at 170. Not to say that I won't go back down again. You know, I fought at 55, 65, 70, and so, not to say that I won't go back and you know, try again or whatever when I have, you know, the time to really focus on it, but, I mean, I'm comfortable at 70. I fought at 70 for a long time. What
are your thoughts on your opponent, Bill Ulbrich?
You know, Bill, he's a nice guy. I met him. Cool guy. Funny. You know, he's longer than I am, but he doesn't throw as straight as I do, so I don't think he uses his range as much. He's real solid off his back. He's got a real dangerous guard game. That's pretty much where he wins fights. He wins fights on the ground. I think I am a better wrestler, so I think I can kind of dictate where we go. I don't think he'll be able to take me down if he does want to go down, so it's probably going to be a boxing match on my side-to-side different.
Are you going to try to test him on the feet? Because he's got a very good submission game. Are you planning on to stand, sprawl and brawl and stand and trade with him? Is that basically what your game plan will be, without revealing too much, of course?
Yeah, my game plan is my standard game plan. I'm going to hit him in the face, and if that doesn't work, then we'll, you know, kind of change things on the fly. Really, it's just, I didn't think it's what he likes to be in the clinch. He likes to be up close. I've seen him jump guard. I've seen him pull guard. You know, I know he wants to drag me down, so it really gets to stay out of his guard. Because that's where I know he's strong. Not to say that I'm not strong on top. You know, I have a decent amount of submission wins, but and I have never been submitted. So, not to say that I'm afraid of his guard, or I'm worried about fighting inside of his guard, but, you know, there's no reason to play to his strengths. The objective is just stay out of there.
Your last two fights have both been wins since your loss to Bobby Green. They say that losses make you learn a lot. What did you learn from the fight against Bobby Green?
The Green fight was a little different. I mean, between that, the Means fight before that and the Green fight, my dad had gotten, pretty sick going into the Means fight, and he actually passed away just before the Green fight. Or, I'm sorry, he was near passing away around the Green fight, so it was just kind of one of these things, and, my head wasn't in the right place. I'm usually pretty good about, separating the two lives. I don't let my personal life affect my professional life, but I think at that time it was just, I had too much going on. I just wasn't, clear-headed, and I think that hurt me. I didn't get hurt in that fight. I didn't get beat up. I got out-wrestled, and that's really what ended up happening. I got out-pointed. He took me down more than I was on top, and that's kind of what it came down to. It also made me think about going back up to 70, just thinking, what, part of the problem was I needed more power, and I don't think I could maintain the kind of strength that I wanted at 55.
I'm curious, what's your walk-around weight?
Well, it depends. My actual walk-around weight is usually around 190, 195. If I'm not dieting or anything at all. My walk-around when I fight at 55 is usually around 85. Usually around like 80, 85. Right now, I'm hanging at about, I'm about to start my cut, so I'm hanging at about 85. I should probably be under 80, by the time I finish training tonight. Yeah, I walk big. We've always been a weight-cutting team, so me and my guys, that's what we do. To cut to 55, I usually get to about 175 and cut about 20 pounds of water in maybe 2 days, and so I've gotten used to it. It's just what we do. We don't really know any different, but also that's part of the reason we thought maybe it was zapping the life out of me. Maybe a smaller cut, and then, a heavier weight might be a little beneficial to me.
Tim Means fights on the same card as you do this weekend. Would you like another fight with him? He's fought you twice before. Would you like another fight with him?
I don't know. Yeah, why wouldn't I? But it's a risky fight. It's a risky fight, I think, both ways. He's a tough guy where he's strong. He's stronger in areas that I'm weaker, and I'm stronger in areas that he's weaker, and it just ends up who's coming out, who comes out on top. I've already fought 8 rounds with the guy, and, the closest thing we came to was a split decision. We got a 5-round, we got a three-round
draw,
5-round split.
Yeah. Is Monty Cox still your manager?
Yeah, I'm still with Monty. It's a little different now because with being signed, it's a little bit easier. We don't have to search for fights as much anymore, stuff like that. So everything's kind of on autopilot, these last couple.
He's been doing some work with Pro Elite. Is there a possibility that you could be on an upcoming card maybe for Pro Elite?
I don't know. That's not really something we've talked about right now. Mostly just because, I'm still riding out my contract with King of the Cage, and I'm happy where I'm at. I like to stay active, and they keep me active as opposed to, big fights few and far between. So, if an opportunity arises, we'll kind of deal with it when it comes. But as of right now, nothing's really, I'm not moving anywhere yet.
Dom, what's your prediction for the fight with Bill Ulbrich?
A prediction. I don't know. It's a lot of things. This one I'm kind of thinking on the fly. He comes in head down. I think I'll land some shots. I think I'll be able to stay on my feet. I think I'll be able to dictate the position. I think maybe he'll kind of. I don't want to say he'll set the pace, but I know he might come out harder earlier than I do. I tend to have a decent feel out time. Not that I'm feeling out for a whole round, but I think he just charges in without measuring, without gauging. So I think a lot of it'll be countering early and then offensive after, once I get his timing down and whatnot. I'd say a TKO. I'd lean towards that if I was going to finish. A knockout or a TKO. I don't really see a submission finish just because I don't really plan on being there long enough to really work on something. And I also don't want to get stuck down there with him. So I think the direction that I would have to lean is either a knockout or a TKO. Maybe if it goes my way, 2 rounds, maybe 3. Go with the distance. I'm always prepared to go the distance, but who the hell
Right.
So my objective would be to stop him inside of 3 rounds. I think that would probably be my best guess to what would happen.
How much does getting a belt mean to you? Because I remember seeing you at all the Donofrio shows. You would always be wearing your belt around. How much does having a belt mean to you?
The belt means nothing. I mean, the actual physical belt means nothing. The title means everything. You know, knowing that you're the best in that division is the most important thing to me. Knowing that I'm top dog, knowing that I'm the target, like, you know, you want to be the best, you got to beat me. Like, that's what really matters. As far as, like, the actual, you know, the belt itself, you know, while having it, it's cool. And you know, things like going to shows, I wear the belt to, like, you know, I bring it to, like, when I go to events and I have guys fighting, but that's more of a team camaraderie thing. You know, everyone brings whatever they have. You know, my amateurs bring their amateur belts. We just kind of, you know, that's just the kind of thing we do as a group. As far as how much it means to me physically, you know, a belt's jewelry. It's a symbol. It symbolizes what you did, but the title's the only thing that matters. I want to be the best. That's it. Like, I don't care what you know, it could be a ring, it could be I don't care what it is, a t-shirt. I don't care what I gotta wear. I just want to know that I'm the best one at that moment.
Dom, what motivates you? What are some things that get you up in the morning to go train? And
I don't know anything else, man. You know, I've been a competitor for so long. You know, I don't really have that much of a plan B. Right now, a lot of it's my dad. You know, my dad passed away. You know, his son was a 2-time world champion, and you know, and he was so proud. He's actually only seen me fight, or he only saw me fight one time, and it was, you know, great for him. It was a fantastic time. You know, it was my birthday, not last year, but the year before. It was just, you know, this phenomenal thing, and that's what drives me. You know, I know that that's what he wants, and then he was proud of what I did, and on top of that, I want to do something. You know, I want to leave something behind. I don't want to just, you know, dig it out. I don't like the 9 to 5. I don't like being Joe Average. I feel like I need to do something special. So what gets me up is just doing the thing that I love and just pushing and winning. And you know, I don't know. I can't think of any other way to provide. I think that's the best way that I would have to provide if I someday, you know, down the line I want a family, I want to do something like that. Like right now, I just worry about me, and I want this to be my job. I don't want to do anything else. You know, I want to be in the front. You know, I want to be, you know, on stage, going at it. You know, that's what I want. I want to be remembered for something.
when you first started, did you have any goals? And if so, what goals have you accomplished so far?
You know, funny thing, when I first started fighting, because, this is, maybe I got about 10 years or so. At the time, when I first started fighting, I wanted to be a King of the Cage champion. That was I told Terry that, right when I signed. I said it was the funniest thing, because, I ended up fighting for a lightweight belt, but when I started fighting, because I started fighting at, 220, is my goal was to get the weight off and be a King of the Cage middleweight champion. That was my goal. That's what I wanted to do. That's what drove me through my first, 5, 6 amateur fights. That's what I'm going to do. I'm working my way towards that. And I just thought it was funny that, 5 years later, and, 5 that shit. 6 years later, and, 2 weight classes down, I ended up finally doing it.
Dom, real quick before I let you go, do you have any sponsors you'd like to thank? Anything you want to say to the fans?
Yeah, you know what? I got this really nice, great gym that we're building out in Clinton Township. It's the old brick house. It's a Metro Family Fitness. We got great boxing coaches down there. We got personal trainers, all kinds of stuff. It's on Cass and Groesbeck, if anyone's listening that knows that area. It's Cass and Groesbeck, Mount Clemens. Old brick house used to be weight station. I think Detroit Bodybuilding Company. They've been with me since the very, very beginning. They always help me out. Good deal in supplements, whatnot. Lance Keller Studios. Lance Keller's my tattoo guy. He does phenomenal work and been working on my piece for at least the last couple of years now. I think that covers all the people that I got, Michigan Fight Club, that's who's based out of our gym now. My team, man, Hate Squad, we keep pushing, turning a couple more guys pro, so some of the guys you might see coming up pretty soon, hopefully. See if we get some guys in that Donofrio card and, see where we go.
Dom, I hate you so much. Thanks for taking the time to talk. I really appreciate it. Good luck at King of the Cage Total Destruction against Bill Albrecht.